Hi, this is Brian Wiklendt. I'm lead counsel at Garfinkel Schwartz. I'm coming to you today from our Maitland, Florida office, which is a suburb of Orlando, Florida. We also have a satellite office in Cocoa Beach, which is on the Space Coast near Port Canaveral. But I travel all across the country and to other countries to represent people under the Defense Base Act. The Defense Base Act is a federal law that covers overseas civilian contractors and subcontractors, including third country nationals that get injured or killed while working under a contract for the government, the U.S. government. Today I'm coming to you to discuss death benefits under the Defense Base Act. A lot of people don't know that these benefits are out there, and the benefits are very significant for the families who lose a loved one as a result of an overseas contract. Basically, what happens is when a person dies, one of your loved ones dies. The spouse of that person receives 50% of the employee's average weekly wage for the rest of her life. That's very significant, meaning that you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars here that a lot of people have no idea that they're entitled to. If the wife remarries, she gets 2 years of his 50% of 2 years of his average weekly wage in a lump sum. Also, any surviving children get a certain percentage that they share equally until they're 18 years old. That percentage is normally 16.5% of the dead person's average weekly wage. That also can become significant. That happens until they're 18. However, if they go to college, it can be extended until they're age 23. Again, most people don't know that these exist, especially third country nationals. Now, third country nationals are people under a subcontract that probably never have met or know the person that has the direct contract with the government. These people have no clue and no idea if they get injured or they get killed, that they have benefits under the United States government. My job is to try to hit those people and find them and to explain to them what their rights are. Now, you may think that there's a 1-year statute of limitations normally on Defense Base Act claims, including death claims. However, there is a presumption in the law that states that when you know or should have known that you're entitled to these benefits, that's when the statute starts running, not when the person dies. In a lot of cases, the employer or the subcontractor never notifies the Department of Labor of a death. If that occurs and they don't notify the Department of Labor within 1 year, the statute of limitations argument is no longer valid. Also, if the employer doesn't help assist you and explain to you what your benefits might be, a judge may rule that was improper by the employer to not tell you what your rights are, and then that presumption that you filed your claim timely applies. I've seen people who've had loved ones killed in the line of duty back as far as 2004 and 2005, who I believe can successfully continue a claim and go forward with a judge on their death benefits based on the lack of the employer's input and notice that a death occurred while under a subcontract. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we handle these types of claims. Not many people know about these benefits. The benefits are significant for the family, and I'd like to try to help every family out there that ever lost a loved one under a civilian contract, including civilian subcontracts, and with third country nationals in Turkey, Indonesia, the Philippines, India. A lot of these people have no idea that they were working actually under a U.S. government contract because the subcontractors don't notify and explain to them what the situation is in terms of the hierarchy of the different contracts. Sometimes they can be so commingled and mixed that a giant graph or flow chart is necessary just to figure out exactly who is liable for what and whether you have benefits under the Defense Base Act. And most likely you probably do. And again, this is Brian Wiklendt, lead counsel at Garfinkel Schwartz. If you have any questions about this, or you know any family members or friends or anyone that lives overseas that suffered the death of a loved one who was working on behalf of the government, even if you don't know whether they were actively working on behalf of the government under a government contract, if they were working in some sort of a danger zone or driving a truck transporting goods, there's a good chance that they were doing that for someone that is connected with or has a contract with the United States government. I hope this helps. I'm here to help. Our firm is here to help 24 hours a day. Please take a look at our website at www.defensebaseactlaw.com, where we will have a section under death benefits for you to look at. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate it. Take care.